Oh well, it's the morning after, and yeah, we were up quite late yesterday at Carol Sanford's Regenerative Business Mastermind, and really I guess the workshop with Carol made us bring together, or certainly in my mind brought together, a lot of themes from this week, which were, by the way, I'm out dog walking as usual. So yeah, the themes were to do with how we can shift paradigms about, you know, becoming aware of the paradigms that kind of lock us in certain ways of doing our psychology practice. And the chapter that I was listening to earlier in the week from Walking Musings about the grammar of animacy, which was to do with all the ways in which certain language locks us into a perspective on the world that is object-based, as opposed to being reflective of a living system. And I think that's the case also with what Carol was trying to get us to think about yesterday too, which is what are the ways in which we're representing that objectification of life, and what does that mean in our psychology practices. I'll just show you this. This is a little route that I take sometimes in winter. There's cows in this field, but not in winter. And it's under the village, the other side of the village, and then not a lot of people come walking here, which means it's absolutely jam full of animal tracks and burrows, badgers, foxes, etc. So my chances of walking with these two whilst talking on a video without actively managing what they're up to, and they're like, oh my goodness, have you smelt this trail? So we'll get through it as best we can. Talking of living systems, so this morning, actually, I mean, it's a Saturday morning and usually I don't work at the weekends, but we had one of the quarterly planning sessions for the people who are currently on TPPA, and the chapter from Walking Musings and also the workshop with Carol really got me thinking about the being. How are we? How are our practices representations of life? In other words, in this quarterly planning session, you know, usually with a planning session, you think about working on your vision, what you want to achieve, your goals. And there's always this kind of striving towards. And rather than, it's very difficult at the moment, especially because of all the uncertainty, because of such disruptive change, to, hang on, they've smelt something and I'm getting dragged up the thing. I don't know what they've smelled. Could be anything, could be a deer. As long as it's not the herd of cows, I'm all right. As long as it's not wild boar, actually, I'm all right. That's more likely, and I don't necessarily want to come across them right now with the two dogs. Anyway, so the achievement of goals. You know, talking to people today in TPPA, they were saying, well, you know, things had happened, life gets in the way. Sometimes also focusing on those goals actually puts us more into our into a more kind of threat-based drive state of mind, as opposed to a more soothed and drive state of mind. So we started to see if we could reimagine what the coming 3 months would be like from a being point of view. How do you want to be in your practice? What can support you? What resources would you need in order to be that way in your practice? And for some people that was a little bit confrontational initially, so a little bit brought up some, hang on, getting dragged, protector and manager energy, as we might say in IFS. I'm still getting dragged about. Look at these guys there. Oh my goodness, something has been here overnight and they're going absolutely mad for it. You may get a blooper reel of me disappearing down a hill at this rate. So, you know, the being of our practice and how we want to be, how we want to experience our life, what will support us in that, what are the resources. And as I said, for some people that brought up those kind of protective and manager parts. Oh, you know, if I let go of this, if I don't have these very driving, you know, these almost fear-based drive goals, will I be okay? And it made me think, you know, something Carol was talking about last night about paradigms. And the question was, what paradigm of success have we brought with us from before these times, from before there was a pandemic, from before there was all this disruption? What paradigm of success are we still holding on to? And is that a paradigm that we need to start to shift and let go of? Because it may be a paradigm that's no longer serving us. So that was a week. That was the day yesterday with me in my private practice, a very reflective and development based day. And also my kind of, the questions that has left me with today, thinking about, for me, how do I want to be over the next 3 months? And what do I need to bring into my practice to support me in that? So have a think about that for yourself as well. Is there anything that you need to let go of? What's the paradigm of success that you've brought with you from the before times into now that may no longer fit? And what resources would you need so that you could be in your practice in a way that feels more fitting, more life-giving? See you soon. These guys are just chilling now. Bella's like, I'm just waiting for you. Bye.